and I had my microphone turned off, which might be why you couldn't hear anything. Yeah, weird. So you're probably wondering what that was all about. Was I reading that comic? Actually, I've already read it, and the story's not bad. But let's go back to it for a second, and we're going to pull me. Well, actually, what I'll do is I'll make that one the primary and bring that one up if I can. We're going to figure this out eventually. There we go. Can you still hear me? That's the main thing. Like I said, can you hear me? Okay. What this is about was I'm showing the art style of a modern comic, a modern Superman comic to be exact. And I'm sorry, but to me it looks very computer generated. Obviously computer colored, but it looks almost computer generated. And that's a shame because the cover doesn't look like that. And this was from a couple of weeks ago. This is from 2006. And you can tell it was drawn, but I believe the colors were, again, computer, done by computer. And I don't have a problem with that. It doesn't look bad. Again, it's not as good as the artwork on the cover. This one is from the 90s. And you can tell it's hand-drawn. Much, much better. I like this style. It's got the poster. Yeah, this is Born Again, Superman in Action Comics, Last Son of Krypton poster. This is from the 90s, newsstand copy, which is why I had it out. My direct market copy is put away. This is a Jimmy Olsen comic, and it's Kurt Swan artwork, and it's from the 60s. And I forget who did the second story, but it looks almost the same. This to me is comic book art. Not perfect, but really nice. And the cover is also by Kurt Swan. And of course, the back is the one that I cleaned in the video yesterday. And as you can tell, there's no loss of gloss at all from the way I did that. This is from the 40s. 47, I think, 48 maybe. Yeah, 1947. It's Superman. What can you say? And I don't remember who did the artwork on this one. I don't think it was the same as the cover artist, though. Oh, yeah, it is. Why do I like the older comics better? It's great stuff. I gotta put these away somewhere where they won't get damaged. All right. Now I have this set at an angle so that you don't get the glare from the monitor. And that's one of the problems that I was having, was I was getting a monitor glare. And before we go into what I pressed, let me show you what I picked up at the comic book store last Thursday. And I have some of these already. I didn't have some of them. I liked this cover, so I picked it up. It's a Wonder Woman. Number 30. I've actually been reading some of these. Not terrible. Again, it's that modern style art where it looks like they're not trying. And I like these because it has both covers, the regular cover, and it has a variant cover on the front. And I like that. And the Superman 31 I picked up. It did, again, same style of artwork. He was out of the ones with the variant cover. There's Catwoman 84. I picked that up because, well, Catwoman. And, of course, this one has both covers. I always try to get both. They cost $1 more, but I don't have to worry about it. This is AEW 1. I don't know why I picked this up. I think I picked it up because he recommended it. I probably won't buy them anymore. Vertigo, End of Life. I picked that up. It's number 1. I decided I wanted to check out the new Vertigo series. And I don't want to go back and try to find back issues on newer stuff. So I figured I'd just buy number 1s. Then I was looking through their back issue bin. And this guy's kind of strange. I'm going to go ahead and show you the bag. He prices all of his comics. I don't know what's wrong with the guy, but all of his comics that aren't new are priced. Shade the Changing Man, number 6. And number 8, that's Steve Ditko goodness there. Had to get those because I don't have all of the Shade. I thought I did, but I don't. And then there's this. This is Wonder Woman 12 through 28. He had a $60 price tag on it, $59.99. I think he cut me a little slack on it. But if you figure it out, that's quite a few comics. That's what, 16 comics for that are $3.99 to $4.99 that I paid less than cover price for. So I'm not going to worry about that. And I do want to get more of these ones. I have that one. I have 2 or 3 copies of that one. I'm not going to open this up and because I don't feel like messing with it. I know it's terrible, but let's see if I can get this right. There we go. But I'm still not feeling that well. So I'm surprised I even came on. I forgot to schedule this. I just scheduled it like a half an hour ago, 45 minutes ago, because I forgot. Okay, what do we got here? Let's say hi to some people. Salesboy Comics was the first here. Michael Mayren, who came in second. And then Salesboy said he couldn't hear anything. Well, of course he couldn't hear anything. I had my mics muted. Let's see. Then we've got Charlton 6674. Nice to see you. I like Charlton comics, especially the ones with the Pat Boyette covers and Oh, what's the other guy's name? I can't think of his name, but I just picked up his first printed or published art. So yeah, it was in Troll. I didn't show a Superboy comic, but that's okay. I know what you're talking about. Never seen that juggling Superman cover before. Yeah, that's showing up a lot on eBay right now, or on YouTube right now. This one is a really nice copy. I picked it up in the 90s. It's number 47 from 1947. It does need a bit of a clean. And now that I have it out, I'll probably go ahead and clean it and press it. Charlton again. Like how you show the different art from the now till it was better then. There is not a published comic book today that can hold a candle to it. There's some really good writing though. And some of the writing in the comics today are really good. And it's just they want to crank out so many so fast. The only thing they care about is the cover. And they're not really paying much attention to the rest of the comic, which is a shame. You plucked my last comic book. There you go. Sometimes I wish somebody would pluck my last comic book because, I mean, I've got so many. And up here, I added a few. Let me put myself in full view. Of course, I added my Sherry the Showgirl, my Batman that shows the first Poison Ivy. That's Sandman #1 from Jack Kirby, and OMAC #1 from Jack Kirby. Those are from the early 70s. And then, of course, I have my Superman 14 and my Lois Lane #1, and that's Hercules. Nope, that's Champions #1 with Hercules. I put some new stuff in the background. And people saying hi to each other, which is always good. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at what I pressed this week. Starting with from 1948. Probably should go ahead and add myself up here, back here. And we're going to flatten this again. You'll see a little bit of a glare, but it's not too bad. And it should just be on this side, so it won't be too bad. Walter Lance's New Funnies. It's a shame this has some holes on the cover. Here it's missing a big piece, and here it's missing a piece. This is the way I got it. I did press it because, you know, I felt like it. Cleaned it and pressed it, made it look halfway decent. There's a Web of Spider-Man #41. It was in pretty nice shape, but it had some non-color breaking ticks along the side that I wanted to get out, so that's why I pressed it. It is Coffee with Chaos. I have to have my coffee. Next, we have Harvey Hits #12. This is from 1958, and Al Averson did the artwork on that cover. Nice Phantom cover. It's the Harvey Hits #12. Nice old comic. This is Power Lords #1 from 1983, a Mark Teixeira cover. Now this stuff hits heaven. I did this. This was early on when I was practicing taking stickers off using my sticker removal tool, and I screwed it up. My fault. Yeah, I don't have rib pain, but I definitely have a stuffed up nose, and I have a sinus infection. I get it every year. It makes it hard to breathe sometimes. Oh yeah, he's been around for a while. Uh, be, this is one of his earlier full size covers, but he did some of the early artwork for the small Masters of the Universe comics that they included with the toys. Let's see. Bill Reinhold did the cover on this one from 1987, Badger number 28. Let's actually signed WR, so William Reinhold. Good stuff. This is one of my low grade Cerebus comics. This is number 89 from 1986. All my Cerebus comics are pretty much all low grade. The entire collection has water damage. That's the way I got them. I got them for like 5 cents a piece. So, Cerebus, 5 cents for Cerebus? Sure, I'll read that. PGX. I'm sorry. Um, I've seen a couple PGX slabs, and then I've seen people show a couple of PGX slabs on different websites, and I haven't seen a one that had a grade that I would agree with. Not yet. Not one. Uh, I Yeah, but then again, I don't get comics slabbed anyway. And I had considered getting a couple of slabbed by CBCS, but now they've been bought out and done. I'm not going to mess with that either. I'll just keep them raw. And I don't see. I was considered CBCS because I could have sent them in without being subscribed to them. I'm a legacy person with them because I was with Beckett before uh, doing cards, and so I'm kind of a legacy person, but not anymore. I don't think they would carry that over. So I could have gotten CBCS uh, graded comics without having to worry about having a subscription. PGX, you got to pay for a subscription every year, then you got to pay for each individual one. And if it's more valuable, you've got to pay more money. Nothing. This is a ninth print for with a cover by Malcolm Kildale, Classics Illustrated #1, The Three Musketeers. And the reason I know it's a ninth print is because it's #1-60. In other words, it goes to number 60 on their little order form. Yeah, send me that link on Instagram. I do like Classics Illustrated. This one was published in 1949, by the way. So good stuff. I'd like to get the whole run of Classics Illustrated. Whether they're first prints or not, I don't care. Then we have Airboy #12. That's a Dave Dorman cover. And for those of you who aren't aware of who Dave Dorman is, think of Star Wars. Not Star. Was it Star Wars? Yeah, Star Wars, but from Dark Horse. I think March, late March, maybe. I don't remember. I was kind of out of it Sunday night. I was just starting to develop this. This is Captain Victory number 10 in DC Comics. And of course, Jack Kirby artwork. I'd have to go back and watch it again, which I might do anyway. Is our Charlton guy here still? Because what I have here is Space Adventures number 10. A Ditko cover on that. That's from August 1978. Then we have Dan DiCarlo doing the art on Arch Cheese Girls, Betty and Veronica, number 214. And this has some holes in here. It's pretty messed up, but it came out all right. Going to put these down here. Turok, Son of Stone. I have to look at the back. Number 74 from 1971. And that's my little label I do for when I press a comic. George Wilson did the artwork on that, I'm pretty sure. Yep. Hey, George Wilson is a king too, but nobody ever heard of him. This next comic is cover artist by Dan Gormley. It's from 1950, and it's New Funnies number 165. Of course, it has Andy Panda and that crazy rooster. And we will lift it up a little bit so you don't see the glare as bad. Yeah, you should be getting those comics from me tomorrow or Friday, depending on your weather. I sent you 6 of them, but they're not all Lois Lane, just most of them. Web of Spider-Man, number 42, Alex Saviuk. I like his artwork. It's one of the reasons why I kind of collect Web of Spider-Man is because I like Saviuk's art. How about Warren Kramer doing Harvey Hits number 1 from 1986. Hard to believe that comic book is nearly 30 years old, 40 years old. Yeah, it's a 40-year-old comic right there. Here we have New Talent Showcase number 4 from 1983. Steve Lightly did the main part of the cover. Of course, it has all the different cover art. Oh, Jesse Marsh he's just awesome. I got to find that and turn that off. There we go. Let's go ahead and see what if I can put that. We'll do the show comments. That'll make it a little easier for me, not much. Make it easier for you so you know what I'm replying to. This is Badger number 35 from 1988. That's a Mike Zeck cover. Actually, that's no good because it covers up the cover. I don't like that. It covers up the cover. And I'd have to flip myself around so I'd be looking at it. Here's another Malcolm Kildale cover from 1949. Classics Illustrated number 2-60. I believe this is a 7th print. Might be an 8th. I don't remember. Ivanhoe. And from 1986, this is Cerebus number 90. They kind of get out of order. The Cerebuses are all out of order now, and I'm just grabbing one from the front and then filing it where it's supposed to go after I press it. From 1987, here's Airboy number 13. Timothy Truman did the artwork on that. Yeah, I liked Tim Truman's art from the moment I first saw it. Great, great art. Put these down here. I'm showing them all. Here's Captain Victory and the Galactic Rangers. More Jack Kirby goodness. This is number 11. So I'm getting towards the end of the Captain Victory run. But I've got 2 or 3 copies of almost each one. So if you need any Captain Victory, just let me know. And we'll see what we can do. I'm moving the microphone a little closer to me. This next one, Art Capello did the artwork from. It's from 1971, and it's Just Married, number 75. The next one, the cover is a little dull on it, or was a little dull on it. Dan DeCarlo cover from 1974, Archie's Girls, Betty and Veronica, number 217. And it's not dull anymore. I gave it a try. I used one of those dryer sheets on it. Brought the gloss right back. Here's a trick, though. Do that after you press it. Don't do that and then press it. Do it after you press it. Okay, are these your videos or something else? Oh, birthday comics are the best. I don't sell birthday comics, so I don't have a whole lot of them either. I have a list of them. Some of them are pretty pricey. Was it released in the month and the year you were born, or was that the cover date? Because there's 2 different dates. The release date is usually 2 to 3 months before the cover date. And the reason for that is the cover date is when the comic is supposed to be taking off sale. Oh, Flash 133, awesome book. This is Ripley's Believe It or Not. Believe it or not, I don't know who did the cover. This is number 2. I can't find my number 1. I know I've got it. And this next one is not George Wilson. Forgot the guy's name, but it is not the George Wilson cover. And for some reason, I wrote George Wilson on there, but he did not do the cover. This is Turok, Son of Stone, number 29. It's a Dell comic from November 1962, just before it went over to Gold Key. Now it does have some chipping along the side. I think it looks cool. Next up, another Alex Saviak cover on Web of Spider-Man number 43. Another good cover. Dagwood and Blondie. Yeah, that was cheap. You sold those cheap. But that's okay because it's Professor Pete and he's going to love them. So that's good. This is from 1987, Warren Kramer art. Harvey Hits number 4, featuring Richie Rich. I have so many Richie Rich comics on my column. And I don't have any real runs, just a lot of different Richie Rich titles. Probably 40 different Richie Rich titles. It's unreal. This is Superman Family number 197 from 1979. Jose Luis Garcia Lopez artwork. Awesome artist. One of the unsung heroes of the 70s and 80s. No problem. Yeah, I like the Superman Family covers. It's got some creases down here, some up here. I may be getting another one of these. I just bought some more Superman Family comics. I shouldn't until I find out which ones I don't have. But, I see them. They're cheap. I buy them. Yeah, Batman Family, same way. I see them. They're cheap. I buy them. But Batman comics in general aren't cheap like they used to be. This is from 1981, Badger number 41. Ron Lim did the cover art. He's been doing art for a long time now. 36 years. Yep. See, I think the first thing I have by him is X Mutants number 1, which was his first published artwork. I think that's like from 1985. So he's been like 40 years he's been in comics, which is cool. And he's still doing covers. Cerebus number 91 from 1986. This is the first Classics Illustrated I ever read. Not this particular issue, but this story. And this is Classics Illustrated number 4-60 from 1949. It is The Last of the Mohicans by James Fenimore Cooper. And I read that when I was about 7 years old. So that was many, many years ago. But it was the first Classics Illustrated I ever read. Now, I didn't show a number 3 because both of my number 3s have tape on them and they need some work. So they're going to, and this is like a second or third print on this one. But yeah, this one definitely needs some help. And this one has some problems as well. So I'm going to be working on both of these. All of the badgers were kind of sad looking, except for 1 or 2. But they had some big name artists do. Tim Vigil did a cover for them. As a matter of fact, I have it coming up, I think, next week. Oh boy. Oh, you guys don't want to look at this. Do you remember what that looks like? I can pull it up, I think, from one of my yeah. Let's see if I can find it here. Digging into my computer files. Yeah, this is the wrong one. I pulled up the wrong one. Let me pull up the right one. If I can find it. Oh, fun time. Oh, did I move all of those? I think I moved those to a different file or a different folder. Sure did. All right. Let me bring it up here if I can. Image file. There you go. That's how it looked. That's the before look. Made a little bit of a difference. You can just, if you look real close, you can barely see the stain. But I think it came out pretty good. One of my better efforts, except the inside. I'm still not happy with that, but it is what it is. Now we've got Airboy, number 14 from 1987. This is a Ron Randall cover. Yes, I would say the answer to the thumbnail question is yes. There's Captain Victory number 12. Jack Kirby goodness again. And this last one is going to blow your mind. It's Just Married, number 74. And I have a light flickering somewhere. And I'm not sure which one. Cover artist, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. Before he got hooked up with DC Comics, he was working for Charlton doing their covers and some of their interior work for romance comics. You got to be aware of this stuff because you might see something like that. This is a cheap comic. This is like $10, $15 at most. But considering it's an early Garcia Lopez cover, you would think that it'd be, $30 or $40, but it isn't. You do good work, Dylan. You do good work. What do we got next? This is a cover by Christopher Moeller, Conan the Savage number 3. This is a magazine size, so going to take up more room. Hey, if you want to come on Sunday when I do my well, I never know when I'm going to do my live stream on Sunday, but I do have something to unbox for Sunday, and I might have something else because I'm supposed to get something else tomorrow. Actually, I have 2 things to unbox right now, and I should be getting 1 or 2 more boxes. I like doing that on Sunday. It leaves more things for here. And this is Vince Edwards' cover doing Conan the Savage number 4. And both of those are from 1995, I believe. Yeah, you could come on with me. We could do a live stream together. Just let me know what day you want to do it. We can do a live stream together, and you can put it on your channel as well as on mine. There you go. You get more. Hopefully, you get more people. I don't know. I have 800 and some subscribers, and I've been at that for over a year. So I've been doing this for what? Oh, I'm going into my 7th year, and I haven't hit 1,000 subscribers yet. But it's okay. I don't mind. Yeah, it is. And like I said, Garcia Lopez. Can't go wrong with that. Can't go wrong with this next artist either. This is from 1975. It's Weird Tales of the Macabre. Jeff Jones cover. And this is one of the sister magazines for the Atlas comics from the 70s. I don't have all the magazines. I thought I did have all but 1 or 2, but it turns out I only have 3 or 4 of them. I don't know if they were one of the items that was destroyed in one of the floods or what. And next, this is a Greg Theakston cover from 1975. And this is Movie Monsters #2. Now, I'm going to start pressing more magazines. I'm going to do, so instead of 3 one week, 4 the next, I'm going to start pressing a new magazine every day. Because 4-hour press with a 20-hour cold press in the machine should be plenty, especially for a magazine size. I'm not sending them in. I'm not going to worry about that. But you'll get to see a lot more comic-related magazines this way. Yeah, Planet of the Apes. This one features 2001: A Space Odyssey, Doc Savage, Frankenstein, Rodan, 1 million years BC, and more. There you go. And I've shown this one before, but I just thought I'd show it up there anyway, because why not? It's Dave Stevens. We all love Dave Stevens. Great stuff. But that's not the only stuff I press. I do cold presses too. Things like this. And I showed one of these before. And these are all from the 40s. I don't print ads from anything later than 1949 if I can help it. The 1940 Plymouth. Yeah, those are kind of cool. And Studebaker Commando. I'll give you a sneak peek of what I'm going to throw on my press from tomorrow for a magazine. Well, not tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. Tomorrow is another Elfquest comic, Elfquest magazine. This is going to go in the press tomorrow, but it's got to go in the humidifier first, or the humidity chamber first. So, yeah. I can't put it in the humidity chamber even though I want to. And then I'm going to do this one. You never know what I'm going to come out with. And that's magazine size. Spider-Man Comics Weekly, number 72, from June of 1974. And that's a British printed magazine. So I think that's all I'm going to be showing you. I know you want me to break open these. You know what? I'm dying to see this, so we're going to break this one open today. I kind of already opened it, but I didn't really look at it yet. See, it didn't peek inside the bag. I know what it is, though. I'm going to have to go full size for this one. Let's see. I had to get it. One of the prints in here is a Dave Stevens print. That's why I had to get it. I haven't opened it. I probably will open this because I don't intend to ever sell it. Oh, it only contains two 11 by 16 posters. I thought it carried. Yeah, I thought it had more. Well, that sucks, but it's still a cool item for my collection. I have a Rocketeer action figure somewhere too. Invoice. I keep those. A packing slip. Why am I not in there? Get in there. There we go. Nah, nah. Salesboy Comics is good. That's what we know you by. Like me, if I changed my channel name to Collecting Chaos from Collecting Chaos to something else, I'd have to redo everything because I'm collecting chaos on Instagram. I'm collecting chaos on eBay. I'm collecting chaos on YouTube. Uh, if you go to collectingchaos.com, it'll bring up, I think it brings up my YouTube channel. It might bring up my eBay channel. I don't remember which one. It brings up one of them. So, what do you think? Do you like me doing a Sunday live to unbox whatever I've gotten during the week, uh, and just show stuff that I, you know, I'm not sure how I want to do it. I kind of like doing it just an impromptu Sunday show, not scheduling it, just go live and start showing comic books. And what I might do is show the comics that I bought, and then offer up, oh, show 20 or 30 comics for people to buy. I need to get rid of these. I don't want these anymore. I wonder if I can sell them. I have a couple more of them too. Back here somewhere. Actually, I like the artwork on this one. I like the artwork on all of them. I just don't like all of the subject matter anymore. And I have a couple of these. Should put those on eBay. On Sunday, generally, I just sometime in the afternoon. If I'm going to do it, I just go on. Uh, I don't really have a set time. I guess if I decided that I was going to do a sale after I showed what I got, after the weekly stuff, if I was going to do a sale, I'd pick a set time, probably 3 o'clock. Eastern, 4 o'clock Eastern, something like that. How's the snow situation where you're at? Did you get your sidewalk shoveled yet? Well, actually, did you get your car shoveled yet? No. I'm going to stick with collecting chaos. That's a that's a very appropriate name for me because I've collected so many things over the years. I've got stamps, I've got coins, I've got baseball cards, football cards, basketball cards, hockey cards. I do not have any racing cards left that I know of. I've got non-sports cards. I used to have a huge Magic the Gathering collection. I finally sold that. Of course, I've got stuff like this. I've got toys. I've got action figures. I've got dolls. I've got so much stuff it isn't funny. So really, collecting chaos is a very appropriate name. I also have glasses, not this type, but glassware. You know, drinking glasses that you can't drink out of because they have lead paint on them. You know those those jelly glasses that our moms used to have us drink out of. Yeah, that had lead paint on them. Oh no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I can't. I can't go over Dr. Paul's video in the evening on Sunday because I have to watch it. I guess I could do it on Saturday, but Saturday we get mail, and there's always a possibility that I might get some mail on Saturday, and then I wouldn't be able to show it if I got it the same. You know, that would be unfortunate unless I did it in the afternoon or in the evening. I guess, yeah, I could do Saturday, like 4:30, 5 o'clock on Saturday. I guess I could do. No, I'd have to be later than that. It'd have to be about 6 o'clock on Saturday, and then I could show the. I could do two parts. The first part would be um, my mail call section, and then the second part maybe I could do sales. I watched Star Trek. I used to watch it all the time, especially in the early six or in the '60s when it first came out. Uh, that was interesting for a couple of reasons. We had a set bedtime. You know, I had to be in bed at a certain time because I had school in the morning. But my mom let me stay up and watch Star Trek, the first episode, that one time. I think it was on a Wednesday night or something like that. And I was thrilled. I got to see the first episode of Star Trek. I knew I'd never see another one because school night. And I got ready to go to bed, and she said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to go to bed because it's bedtime." You're not going to watch Star Trek? You mean I get to do that every week? She went, yes. I went, okay. I didn't I didn't find out until years later that the only reason she let me stay up and watch it was because she liked it and she wanted to have a reason to watch it. So I was her reason for watching Star Trek. So yeah, I might start doing that. I might do a haul video and then followed by a sale. And who knows, some of what I got in the haul might go up for sale. You never know. In general, probably not. It'll probably be just the way I do, just the way I do it. However, I decide to sell it. As you can see, I got my second camera figured out so that I don't. It isn't upside down now. It was either upside down for you or upside down for me last week, but I got it figured out now, and it works pretty good. And I also have it figured out for the studio, OBS studio. I figured that out. That'll be. Oh no, wait, that was in today's video, wasn't it? Yeah, that was in today's video, this morning's. Okay, I have two different kinds of cams. The one that I'm using overhead is, where's that box at? Nope, that's a speaker box. I don't know. It's a new one that I just got recently. Let me take a look here. And it won't let me. I don't think it's going to let me do that. EMEET Smart Cam S600. And the other one I have is just a regular depth stick webcam. That's this one that I'm looking at here. That's the depth stick, and the one that's looking down at the comics. That's the newer EEMT or whatever it was. EMEET Smart Cam. So I'm very tempted to get a second of that EMEET cam. That's a really nice cam, but it cost about $90. So, unfortunately, I have to use two computers because YouTube, or because eBay, not eBay, StreamYard, even though they're charging me $400 and some, won't allow me to use two cameras. I have to go to the next tier up, which is like $800. I ain't doing that. So I worked it out so that I'm logged in twice. But now with OBS Studio, I can use both cameras on one computer and do it that way. And I can switch from one camera to the other. So I may be doing some recording that way. And eventually, I'll be able to stream that way. I'll be able to do my live show that way. That's as long as I'm doing just myself. If I have a guest on, of course, I'd have to go to StreamYard again. No, I might have been one of the geekiest, but I wasn't the coolest. That's for sure. It's just, you get old, you learn a few things. I like this Superman. I used to have the box for the Superman, uh, for that giant action figure. I used to have the box for it, but that last flood, it was on the floor. Box was destroyed. But what happened with that was I looked at it and I wanted it, but it was like $50. And I told my wife about it. She went, absolutely not. We don't need any more toys. And then I saw it marked down to 15 and I bought it. And I took it home and she went, I told you not to pay $50 for that. I said, I paid 15. She went, oh, that's okay. It was okay when it was 15. It was not okay when it was 50. My mom was the best. My mom and dad both were the best. I had good. I had a good. I owe everything that I am to them. And if I'm a gentleman, it's their fault. I blame them. And I've told people that many times. I'll open a door for somebody. Oh, that's nice. It's nice to know there's a gentleman. I said, yeah, well, blame my mom and dad. They brought me up that way. You just have to find the one that doesn't mind your obsession. True story. I was talking to my wife about Action Comics #1. And the fact that the first time I ever saw it, I was about 7 years old. And a guy showed it to me, and I said, wow, I want to read that. And he went, no, I paid like $10 for this. You're not touching it. You got to remember, that's like 1961, 1962, somewhere around there. In the early 70s, sitting in a gentleman's, he had like a little office. We were just sitting there talking comics. And he said, did you see this TV show? I think it was Johnny Carson. I said, no, I don't stay up that late to watch it. He said, well, you should have watched that one because they had a guy on with an Action Comics #1. He said there's 7, and he told the world on television there were only 7 known copies to exist. And I went, that can't be right. And he starts fingering it off, telling people that he knows for a fact have a copy. And he gets to like 11 out of the 7 that are known. He gets to number 11. And he gets up, walks over to his cabinet, opens his cabinet, and he says, and here are my 2. And he handed me one. He said, you can look through it if you want. That was the second time I saw it. The third time was at a comic book show in Washington, D.C. And I was thinking about buying it, but the guy wanted like $300 for it. It was a lot of money at the time, especially for a comic book. Even though I had the money in my pocket, I decided I can pick it up later. Later happened in about 2 or 3 years where it was about $500. Didn't get it. The next time I saw it was in the 90s, and he wanted like $10,000 for it. And I thought, I could buy it, but I'd have to put a second mortgage on my house. So I'd have to, do a second mortgage on the house, get some of the equity out of my house so I could do it. And I told him, let me go home, talk to the wife, and I'll get back with you. So on the way home, I talked myself out of it. And I never mentioned it to my wife. We were talking to my wife about 12, 13 years ago. And I told her about it. I told her it was like, you know, $10,000. Uh, but I decided not to get it and not to even talk to her about it. She looked at me. She said, "You should have bought it." So what can you do? I have a story about ASM1, Amazing Spider-Man #1. Guy was trying to sell it to me back in the early 70s. And he said he wanted $15 for it. I said, absolutely not. I'm not paying $15 for that. He said, well, there's the #1. I said, yeah, but it's new. It's only like 7 or 8 years old. Show me something from the 40s or 50s if you want $15. We went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and I knew it was worth the money. I didn't want to pay that much for it. But finally, I looked at him and I said, how about this issue number 15 here? He went, what about it? I said, I'll give you 15 for both of them. And he said, yeah, okay, I'll do that. That is how I got Amazing Spider-Man #1 and Amazing Fantasy 15 for $15 for both. That was around 1970, 1971, maybe. Might have been 1972, somewhere around that time frame. Just before I joined the Army in 1976, I decided to sell them. I got $90 a piece for them, which sounds like I sold them for a song, you know, dirt cheap. But at that time, in that condition, that was a huge amount of money. And you got to figure the profit I made off of them. I paid $7.50 a piece for them. I sold them for $90 a piece. It's a pretty good markup. And I don't regret selling them because I definitely made a profit. But, and yeah, I don't regret selling them. I don't regret selling my Amazing Spider-Man 129 or 101 or Incredible Hulk 181. I don't regret selling any of those. The only Marvel comics that I ever regret selling, and I still regret to this day, was my Hulk 1 through 6. And I regret that every single day. I've regretted it since the day I sold them. No, no. I have no desire to own Spider-Man 1 or Amazing Fantasy 15, regardless of their value. I don't want them. I had them. I read them. They were pretty good. And I sold them. And I'm not a big Spider-Man fan, so it doesn't matter to me. Yeah, that's the thing that people don't understand. They always say, "Oh, well, I bet you wish you had them now." No, I don't wish I had them now. If I wanted them now, I'd buy them. I'm not rich, but I have a good enough credit that I could buy them and get it paid off within 2 or 3 years. So I'm not worried about it. It's not something that's high on my priority. I'd rather have a any Superman comic that I don't currently own than a Spider-Man 1 or Amazing Fantasy 15. Now, it doesn't have to be Superman 1 or Superman 2 or anything like that. Any Superman I don't own, I would rather have. You know? And that's how you get things like this. Probably the most patriotic cover ever created. By the way, Dylan, the reason I didn't send you a copy of OMAC #1 is because I couldn't find them, and I've only got like 5 or 6 left, so I didn't send you. Mostly because I couldn't find them at the time that I sent that package off to you. I did send. I did send you something by Jack Kirby, I think. I'm not going to swear to it, but I think I did. It doesn't cost anything to be humble. And, uh, and this, of course, is not all of my comics either. This is just the first 2 boxes are comics that I have on eBay. And the other 14 boxes there are ones that I have in a that I have listed. It's not a database; it's a spreadsheet. I'm working on getting it onto a database, but in the meantime, I just put it on a spreadsheet. In the other room, and that's only 16 long boxes. I have another long box of First Comics back here. I have these 6 short boxes that someday I'm going to show. No, no, I like my Archies. If you've never read an Archie comic, you don't know what you're missing. They're funny. And same thing with stuff like that Casper the Friendly Ghost. It's a funny comic. It's good. I should have a Flash 133. That's the Flash of Two Worlds. I should have that somewhere because I don't think that one was hurt. So I should have a copy of that somewhere. And then the ones with the Flash and Superman races, I should have those. One was in Flash and one was in Superman. I've got all kinds of stuff. I don't have a lot of Batman. I have some older Batman. Not a lot. I have maybe 10 or 15 back issues of Batman. Older ones, like pre-1990, pre-1980. But I have a lot of detective comics. Yeah, yeah, there is. But the artwork is amazing. Herb Trimp is another unsung hero of the 60s and 70s, as far as I'm concerned. There's so many good artists back in that time frame, and just nobody ever heard of them. Nobody cares. They got ousted by the 90s boys. I do have the pin up. That has the pin up. I showed it on Sunday when I showed the comic. I showed the pin up. But I need to do a little bit of work to that. Not much, just a little tiny bit. We'll reinforce a little bit of the cover. I don't have to, but I want to. I think I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to try to clear my sinuses out, and you don't need to hear that. And maybe I'll go on World of Warcraft and try to level up a character. I have one that's almost to level 80, and the new expansion comes out like March 2nd, and I'd like to get them. I'd like to get at least one more up to 80. I just got back to playing that in the last couple of weeks. So, yeah, I feel okay. It's just my sinuses are messed up, and like I said, it's a sinus infection or sinusitis. It happens every year. That's the way it goes. So maybe I'll go kill some shit on World of Warcraft. Pardon my French, but that's the way I say it. So, take care, everybody. You give me $10 for what? What do you give me $10 for? And probably not anything you're going to get. Anyway, take care, everybody. We'll see you next week, same time, 8 o'clock Central, right here. Take care, everybody. Have yourself a great week. And I'll have another video for you on Monday, or not Monday, on Friday. And it will be of that comic that I'm going to start working. I've already started working. So, yeah. Take care. Bye. Here's my off switch.